coming to you live from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor. This is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism.
It's Friday. It's 10:30. We're live. Welcome to the MediaPlex Friday Live. First, the news. The bus driver that left a 4-year-old unattended on a bus in Windsor for 3 hours has been fired. Joanne Cartier arrived at the Howard Avenue daycare around 5:30, and to her horror, her daughter was not there. Workers from the daycare immediately called the bus company but didn't receive an answer because it was after hours. Police arrived at the storage unit where the bus was parked only to find it locked. However, an employee soon came to open the bus to find the child inside. The girl was unharmed and stated she slept through most of the ordeal. Steve Betteridge, a Windsor police spokesperson, said the investigation was done and no charges are planned to be laid against the driver at this time. The Windsor Goodfellows kicked off their annual Christmas newspaper fundraiser. Lori Harrison reports.
The Windsor Goodfellow Club kicked off their annual special edition Windsor Star paper drive campaign on November 23rd. The paper drive campaign is one of only 2 fundraisers that the Goodfellows Club holds throughout the year to raise funds to support the multiple programs. Mike Beaumont, team captain for the Council of Riverside and St. Teresa, explains why this is such an important fundraiser.
What's really special about it, it's only done in Windsor and in the counties, and it stays in Windsor, so all the funds that are raised stays in this area. It's been a phenomenal turnout. It's so everything that they raise is locally used right here, so it's not going to, Chatham or Toronto, or it's all used right here.
The funds raised from this campaign go to provide food baskets, shoes, and support their breakfast program. For MediaPlex News Radio, I'm Lori Harrison.
Belgium's justice minister is calling for a loot box ban in Europe. Loot boxes are virtual gaming boxes that contain various upgrades, weapons, and skins for players, and other in-game articles for video gamers. Game developers are accused of targeting young gamers with these loot boxes. Belgium's Gaming Commission is calling for closer cooperation between themselves, game developers, and rating agencies to ensure gamers are not being aggressively targeted. As the purchaser of a loot box, you do not know what's inside before the purchase. The Belgian Gaming Commission is deciding whether or not to classify loot boxes as a form of gambling. Now let's kick it over to weather with Jamal Hamadani.
It's time to put on your jacket, seeing as the weather is beginning to get colder. Today we can expect a sunny day with a high of 8 and a low of 7. Tomorrow we are looking at a mainly sunny day with a high of 7 and a low of -2, so spend your night indoors. Sunday we can look forward to another sunny day with a high of 6 and a low of 0. Back to you, Barry.
Let's go to Jordan with our sports report.
There were 3 games in the NFL last night as part of Thanksgiving Thursday. The Los Angeles Chargers won 28-6 against the Dallas Cowboys. The Chargers scored 25 of their points in the second half. In Detroit, the Lions lost their game against the Minnesota Vikings 30-23. The win gives the Vikings their 9th of the season, and they now hold a record of 9-2. And with Washington, the Redskins were able to rebound after their Sunday loss to the Saints when they hosted the struggling New York Giants. The game remained tied until the fourth quarter, where the Redskins would score 10 points, leading them to a 20-10 win. Switching to the NBA, the Minnesota Timberwolves ended a 2-game losing streak with a 124-118 win over the Orlando Magic. Jimmy Butler led the Timberwolves in scoring with 26 points. And with LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, they continued their 6-game winning streak with a win over the Brooklyn Nets. LeBron scored a total of 33 points in 33 minutes of play. The Cavaliers won that game 118-109. In NHL, there were no games, but there was a trade. Torrey Mitchell of the Montreal Canadiens was sent to the Los Angeles Kings for a 2018 conditional draft pick. The condition, if the Kings make the playoffs, it will become a 4th rounder instead of a 5th. That's all for sports this morning. Thank you.
Today we'll be talking with Ted Beal, hip-hop music, writing, and more this Friday Live. Kyle Rose joins us in the studio for 3 minutes with Ted Beal.
I'm Kyle Rose, and I'm here spending 3 minutes with athletic coordinator at St. Clair College, Ted Beal. Ted, how are you doing this morning?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. So let's just get right into it now. I just wanted to know, what is your most pressing concern as a coordinator at the college?
Well, every day we come to the office and we want to make sure we're servicing the student athletes of the college and putting on a good opportunity for them to participate in varsity athletics. And so our goal every day is to make sure that the participation and their experience as a student athlete is top notch, and we want to maintain the first class image of the college when we do that.
Definitely, definitely. And I know last night you were at a softball game. Visiting Fanshawe College came to play us, but it wasn't at our home diamond. It was actually at Micmac Park. So could you just tell us a little bit about how you had that goal to get that playing at Micmac?
Yeah, great night for softball. Obviously, we're actually partners with the City of Windsor when it comes to our evening games or weekday games where we need the lights. Okay. Unfortunately, at this point at St. Clair College, we're not furnished with lights on our campus diamond. So when we bring a partner in or a league member in from London and Fanshawe College, we have a great venue over there at Micmac Park, and it was a great night for softball. And we actually got a couple wins, so we're happy about that too.
Nice, nice. Now, obviously, I'm a little biased. Being a student here at St. Clair, I think that our programs are top-notch. But when you look across the OCAA, could you name me any other institutions that you feel they're doing quite well with their athletics?
Yeah, and we're always trying to chase the big dogs in the GTA, and specifically schools like Humber College, who obviously have a wide and varied program in terms of their athletics. And beyond that too, they're very successful, both provincially and nationally. And so, you look at a college that's 3 times your size in terms of enrollment, and certainly the staff and resources that are available to you in the GTA. We're always in a situation where we're chasing, but we're doing quite well. We're holding our own, and actually, I've always said this about St. Clair College: we're overachievers when it comes to varsity athletics, and we've always been very, very proud of what we've been able to put out in terms of success each year.
Definitely. And speaking of facilities, the Sportsplex, obviously at the main campus, is a big deal for our college. We've hosted a lot of events there. Can you see anything more in the foreseeable future, like with high school partnerships, like high school tournaments, stuff like that? Yeah,
we always work with the local area, and right now the appetite really isn't great for high school athletics in terms of tournament offerings. We've done that over the years and on and off. We do get requests here and there, but there are some rentals that come in and use our facility. We're hosting the women's basketball 5-team city championship in November, on November 5th, actually at the Sportsplex. It's a great day for us to have that in there. The Freed's men's basketball tournament at the high school level is always a very well-renowned tournament in this area and certainly across the province. And so we get some great opportunities that way. And certainly there's other championships and tournaments that come to our campus on an annual basis, and we're quite happy to put it in the Sportsplex.
Definitely, definitely. And I mean, next year, looking to the future, not only the Sportsplex, but we're having the sports park that we're looking to build. Can you touch into getting some detail about?
We can, yeah. Actually, we're hopefully to come up with an announcement in the near future about that. We think that the outdoor complex, we need an upgrade there. We talked about the issue of not having lights on campus for not only our softball program, but for our men's and women's soccer program. And so we're looking at a soccer/football complex. That'll be all artificial turf, in addition to a softball stadium, all artificial turf. Both of those facilities will be lit, and even in the winter months we're looking to dome the soccer/football space so that we can use that. We have an indoor soccer program in the winter months, and it would be great for our fall sport teams or our outdoor teams to be able to utilize that facility on an annual basis throughout the year.
Definitely. Well, that's going to be something that the students will look forward to. Fortunately, we are out of time. Ted, thank you so much for being here. I was just here with Ted Beal, Head Athletic Coordinator, 3 Minutes With.
A homeless Philadelphia man who helped a woman when her car ran out of gas by buying gas for her with his last $20 has amassed $295,000 with a GoFundMe page set up in his honor. Kate McClure, the woman which he helped, did not have any cash at the time to repay him. However, she returned to the spot where he was last seen for several days in a row to give him cash and clothes. McClure then set up a GoFundMe page to help pay for housing in the hopes of raising $10,000. To date, donations have poured in from about 10,000 people and has reached almost $300,000. Cade Ryan talks hip-hop music on It's a Rap.
What are we going to do about food? What are we going to do about food?
Lights on center stage. Life sweet as lemonade. but it's sour too.
Hello, my name is Cade Ryan, and you are listening to the first episode of my brand new podcast, It's a Rap. Tune in to It's a Rap weekly to hear my opinions on the good and the bad of hip-hop and the rap game. What you just heard was the song Famished by Cess Crew, which is the rap duo I will be talking about today. Yes, that's right, I am talking about Cess Crew. Now, you probably have never heard of this group before, but more than likely you have heard of Tech Nine, right? Well, Cess Crew was signed to Tech Nine's label known as Strange Music, which is one of the biggest labels in rap today, with names like Chris Calico, Ritz, and Snow the Product. Cess Crew consists of two members, Mike Viglione, known as Ubiquitous, and Donnie King, known as Godimus. Cess Crew is unique because they are one of the only rap duos to have one black and one white rapper. Something else that is unique about them is that multiple projects they have released have the abbreviation CES, CES. Their debut album in 2004 is titled Capture Enemy Soldiers. Then, in 2013, after they signed to Strange Music, they released Constant Energy Struggles. In 2014, they released Codename Ego Stripper, and this year, they put out their third studio album under Strange Music titled Catastrophic Event Specialist. Another segment I will have every podcast is the underrated and overrated artists of the week. My underrated artists of this week are Cess Crew, and my overrated artist of the week is Kodak Black. His new song, INU, is another example of why mumble rap is just terrible. I don't know about you, but I actually enjoy being able to hear what the artist is saying. Thank you for listening. Tune in next week when I discuss memorable diss songs over the years and give my take on beef in the rap game. I'm Cade Ryan, reporting from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap.
Let's give it over to Ferris and Harris with Sports Talk.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Talk with Ferris and Harris. I'm Jordan Ferris.
And I'm Tay Harris.
Well, good morning, Tate. Montreal didn't play last night, so I was able to make it in today.
It was nice to see you back there, buddy.
All right, so Lonzo Ball walked away from a scrum Sunday against the Phoenix Suns. What do you think? Was this good or bad of him to do?
You know what? I think it's the wrong move. I've always been taught your teammates are your family. These are people you protect. You go through thick and thin with them. You should be there. Even if a fight doesn't actually happen, he should be there, to be on their side, to show that he's part of that team. So I do think it's the wrong move.
I'm going to have to kindly disagree with you there. I think it was the right move to walk away. Nothing good was going to come from this. He doesn't want to get a technical foul. Let's not get any foul trouble here. And if you walk away, hopefully cooler heads can prevail.
Yeah, if we want to talk about walking away in probably a boring team, the Ottawa Senators, Matt Duchene, 0 points in 6 games since joining the team. Is this a reason for concern?
Yeah, this is a real reason for concern. They traded for him for a big impact right away. They gave up quite a few pieces for him, and to have 0 points in the 6 games, it's not good for the Senators.
Yeah, I think they should kind of be concerned, but at the same time, they're giving him 58% of offensive zone starts when he starts on the ice. He's playing with Bobby Ryan, who's yet to score a goal, so I think some goals are going to start to come. Maybe the points will start to pile up. It is an adjustment period for him in Ottawa. It's a new team, new area to learn, so I think it will take some time, but I think he can get back to his feet.
And speaking of Ottawa, the 105th Grey Cup is happening there this Sunday. Quick pick here. Who do you got, Calgary or Toronto?
Well, Jordan, I'm going to teach you a lesson since you're so young. The best team never wins. Toronto was 9-9 in the season. It wasn't the best Eastern Conference there. Calgary was 13-4-1. And from my knowledge of championships, it seems like the best team, the team that's supposed to win, doesn't always win. So it'll be interesting to see, but I got the Argos.
I have Calgary. They played the Argos twice this season, and both times it wasn't even close. The Stampeders ran over them, and Bo Levi Mitchell, he's going to do something no Calgary QB's ever done. He's going to win 2 Grey Cups with them, and it's going to happen Sunday.
Yeah, but you got to think with them beating them twice that Calgary's probably going to be sitting back thinking they already got this in the bag, no?
I guess we'll find out Sunday.
Yes, we will. So tune in again next week for more Ferris and Harris Sports Talk, bringing you the breakdowns on sports' hottest topics. Back to the Papa Bear.
Chelsea Gerard is with us to give you some good tips and tricks for creative writing.
Welcome to the Quill. Grab that pen and paper and let's express ourselves through everything writing. The podcast gives you peace of my mind while creating yours. I'm your host, Chelsea Gerard. what is it that we actually call art when it comes to writing? When you hear the word art, most people think of a painter, dancer, or a musician, but never a writer. There's always been a misconception of what writers do. Most believe that all writers are constantly spewing out ideas and vigorously scratching up paper with endless words. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not entirely true. Yes, most writers have an idea of what they wish to write or have a few things jotted down on paper, but nobody writes a whole book in 5 minutes. Well, they could, but it wouldn't be very good. Just like Picasso, nobody's idea of art is the same as someone else's. One of the most famous artists created so many misrepresented forms of art, and nobody could see where he was headed, except for Picasso himself. Writing is just a simple introduction takes time. Using the transitions and phrases, it can put a lot of stress not only on the writer, but also on the listener itself. What if I were to tell you that I wrote this entire podcast in under 10 minutes? Would you believe me? Probably not. But of course, I'm just writing whatever comes to my mind, and sometimes not all of it makes sense. And most of it, you don't want to hear, and then it turns into a giant run-on sentence like this one. Imagination, emotion, and creative juices start to flow, and before you know it, you have a masterpiece bestowed in front of you. And that's what I like to call art. Thanks for tuning in. You have been listening to The Quill. Remember to always grab that pen and paper and express yourself through everything writing. The podcast gives you a piece of my mind while creating yours. I'm your host, Chelsea Gerard.
Now let's get into your weirdness of the week with Xander Kelly.
Thanks, Barry. Here's your weirdness of the week. An Iraqi group of hackers has taken to attacking the Islamic State with a new weapon, pornography. The group called Daeshgram, a play on the word Instagram and the acronym men use for ISIS, Daesh, is making ISIS supporters doubt the security of their information channels by infiltrating messaging and media sites and spreading fake information. In one of its first acts, Daeshgram photoshopped a porno into an ISIS announcement about the opening of a new media center in Syria. A video of ISIS supporters listening to the announcement was altered to appear as if the extremists were actually watching a projection of a naked woman. This not only showed off the group's technical capabilities, but had a certain satirical quality. Al-Qaeda's leader, Osama bin Laden, allegedly had a substantial porn collection stashed in the compound where he was killed in Pakistan. Notorious Big may have died of a gunshot wound, but Biggie the Cat did not. Named after the rapper, who was fatally shot in 1997, Biggie went missing on November 3rd and turned up 2.5 weeks later with multiple BB gun pellets inside him. And he survived. Biggie was found more than 15 kilometers away from her home and taken to the SPCA before being transferred to have the pellets removed. There were pellets in Biggie's head, cheek, neck, jaw, and back. That's one notorious cat. Some very confused citizens took to the internet to mourn the death of metal singer Marilyn Manson. Manson, whose birth name is Brian Hugh Warner, was himself confused by the mourning fans, as the Manson who died was, in fact, serial killer Charles Manson, who Marilyn Manson drew half of his stage name from. The other half came from Marilyn Monroe. Charles Manson died aged 83 from natural causes, decades after he had formed a cult around his reported hypnotic personality and had a hand in 9 murders. Needless to say, he is not as missed as Marilyn Manson would be if he had been the one to die. That has been your headlines of the week. So weird. Back to you, Barry.
Well, thank you for tuning in. Friday Live is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism. Our production team consists of Xander Kelly and Ryan Percy. This week we had contributions from Kyle Rose, Tate Harris, Jordan Ferris, Xander Kelly, Cade Ryan, Jamal Hamadani, and Chelsea Gerard. I'm Barry Hazelhurst. Have a great weekend.